YouTube, what is crack-a-lackin'? This is your boy NeeblesFTW, and welcome to a brand new video. And in today's video, we're doing something a little bit different. Today, we're going to dive into a little bit of Destiny lore. This is a new type of video I've never done before, so if you enjoy it, make sure to smack that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new, letting me know if this is the type of videos you see, and I could probably pump out one a week, 2 weeks, just depends on how much info I get out of the Grimoire. That really good Grimoire, baby. So today, our first lore topic is going to be Oryx, because yeah, he was the boss in the King's Fall raid. Yeah, we see him at the end of the campaign and everything. But where did he actually come from? How did he gain all of his power? And how did he rise to dominance? That's what we're going to be looking at today, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and start. This all started during the time immemorial age, at a planet called Fundament. Let's go. In unknown millennia past, the traveler once orbited a gas giant called Fundament. Deep within the gas giant, a vast world ocean was inhabited by a staggering diversity of creatures who had been drawn across the stars to the planet over millions of years by the will of great winged worms trapped deep within the planet's core. Across the vast, unforgiving ocean surface of Fundament, these various races, represented by trillions of life forms, rode on vast, floating continents, shattered fragments of their worlds that became isolated kingdoms unto themselves. In one of these continent kingdoms of a krill-like biped race, a mad king is betrayed and overthrown by a court teacher named Taux. Taux incites the neighboring continent kingdom of the Helium Drinkers to kill the king and take over the Osmium court. The three surviving heirs to the Osmium throne, sisters Orash, Sathana, and Zero, flee the continent and form a vow of vengeance against Taux. Persuaded by the thoughts of a worm that had driven the Osmium king to madness, the three sisters follow the leading of a worm to find an ancient ship capable of navigating to the core of the planet. Afraid of dying without seeing their vengeance, the sisters use the ship to dive through the many layers of the gas giant's interior. There in the deep, a great Leviathan warns them to turn back from their quest, but again persuaded by their worm, they press further into the planet's core, where they meet the great worms Yul, Sol, Ir, and Akka. The great worms, having been trapped in the planet's core for millions of years, promised the sisters vengeance, immortality, and salvation for their people in exchange for taking their children as symbiotes. Symbiosis with the mysterious worms bestows upon the siblings great and terrible power, but not without a price. The sisters make vows with the worms to obey their natures. In fulfillment of this vow, they take on their adult morph forms and change their name. Orash takes the king morph and becomes Oryx, the first navigator. Zathora takes the mother morph and becomes Zavathun, bent on cunning. Zero takes the night morph and becomes Xivu Arath, the warrior. Their powers continue to grow, and the great worms persuade them to conquer not only the Fundament, but the stars as well. A great many krill take worm symbiotes, and soon an army is bred. After overtaking the surface of Fundament completely, they begin conquering its moons with vast powers and secrets granted them by the worms. Living on one of these moons is a greatly advanced race called the Ammonites, allies of the Leviathan and the Traveler. They attempt to fight back, but are soon utterly destroyed. The great worms rise from the depths and feast on the Leviathan. Faced with this utter destruction, the Traveler flees Fundament. What once remained of Orash, Savathun, and Zero are lost. Only Oryx, Savathun, and Xivu Arath remain, as dark and terrible forces leading this hive army, driven by their worm gods and their insatiable hunger. Soon the hunger of the worm within Oryx becomes greater than what he can consume, and he realized that in order to survive, he must gain the secrets of the deep, from which the great worms glean their power for himself. Using the sword logic gained from killing his sisters, Savathun and Xivu Arath, Oryx slays the great worm Akka and takes from him the secret knowledge of the deep. Oryx walks alone in the deep and converses there with the darkness. He learns the power to take his enemies and bend their will to his, becoming Oryx, the Taken King. After returning, Oryx institutes a hierarchy of tribute within the hive in order to keep his worm satiated. Now, soon after Crota's death, it's felt across the stars by his father Oryx. He arrives at Saturn with a massive fleet of hive ships, intent on taking revenge on those that killed his brood. His flagship, the Dreadnought, an ancient ship kilometers long and home to Oryx's throne world, is said to be made from a single piece of Akka, the great worm slain by Oryx when he took his name. Believing it to be one of the only viable courses of action, Queen Mara Sov leads the Awoken fleet to engage Oryx's forces in a massive battle in Saturn's rings. She knows she faces defeat, but intentionally embraces it to enact an unknown greater plan. From her ketch she summons Harbingers, massive gravitational weapons that rip through the Hive's fleet. In response, Oryx sends out a massive wave of energy emanating from the tomb world of his dreadnought. The blast completely decimates the Awoken, including the Queen's ketch. There are few known survivors. In the aftermath, Prince Uldren wakes up in his disabled ship, crashed on Mars, hearing Mara Sov's voice. Believing she may somewhere be alive, he goes in search of her. As Guardians battle champions in the court of Oryx, Oryx's source of tribute continued to dwindle. Acting on insight gained from the detached spirit of Tolan the Shattered, Guardians raid the Dreadnought in order to eliminate the remainder of Oryx's court and tributes the War Priest, Golgroth, and Oryx's daughters Ir Haluk and Ir Anuk. With Oryx's tribute completely cut off, the Guardians face him again in the threshold of his throne world, the Dreadnought. Weakened and unable to sate the hunger of his worm, Oryx is finally defeated, becoming, in his own words, worm food. Vanquished, the chrysalis of Oryx's corpse drips away towards Saturn. Tolan expresses concern over the Guardians, leaving Oryx's seat of power vacant, hoping to be filled one day soon by another taken king. That's it for today, everybody. That has been the lore behind Oryx, the Taken King. I know this is new, and I know it was just a lot of talking, but there was gameplay in the back. I try to make it somewhat entertaining. I know it's kind of like something you play in the background as you're doing something else. You can listen to it. I found the story really interesting, especially the part where Oryx used to be a girl. That was just really interesting. But if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new, because I make, if you've noticed lately, the trend, I've been making like 4 videos a week. It's pretty lit. And if you're into Destiny, this is a good place to be. I make some good Destiny content, if I do say so myself. And you know, sooner or later, an old favorite is coming back to the channel. You can stick around for that. If you like the whole lore thing, let me know down in the comment section below what you'd like to see lore on next. Or if you even want to see lore at all. I don't know if you guys liked it or not, unless you leave a thumbs up. And well, this has been your boy NeeblesFTW, the Guardian of the Grimoire, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.